1 Corinthians 13:13 says, now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these love. These three remain. These three abide. These three sustain. These three continue to exist. These three live with you. These three strengthen you. If I was your enemy, one, I would hate you. If I was your enemy, I would want to destroy you. If I was your enemy, I would want to cause you pain and suffering. I would want to hurt you where you live. I would want to defeat you. If I was your enemy, I would do that by attacking what you love, attacking the people you love. If I was your enemy, I would do everything in my power to conquer you and to just make you suffer. God has an enemy, Satan. And the enemy of my Lord is my enemy. So Satan wants to attack us, wants to hurt us, so through us he can hurt him. Faith, hope, and love. If I was your enemy, I would follow the directions of the great general and warrior philosopher Sun Tzu, or the art of war, which is I would attack you where you're most vulnerable. If you're a stronger enemy than I am, which God is stronger than Satan, well, I'm not going to confront you head on. I'm going to attack things that are undergird, that support you. So you have an enemy. If I was your enemy, what I would attack would be, first off, love, I guess. It's the greatest of these is love. So I would make it so you get a skewed view of what love is. I would make it so it's cheapened to where you would feel that, you would think that love is just a feeling instead of love being a decision. To where it would be, I feel love this moment, tomorrow I don't feel love, now I feel empty. To where I would think that love has to do with physical. I would try to confuse you, if I was your enemy, to get you to think that love was something other than what it really is. That'd be the first of kind of the three legs of the stool that's important. Next, if I was your enemy, I would attack hope. I would give you a false idea of it. I would introduce things into your life that appear to give hope. Because what's going to happen over time, if over and over and over again you have hope and stuff, and it lets you leave you flat? Well, eventually over time you're going to lose hope. You're going to get to where you don't actually have hope in the very one who's worthy of having hope. So that's going to be great if I can do that to you. If I'm great. But then, I really want to hurt you and then cut you off. So that you're not communicating with your commander anymore. See, that's how you do it more. You isolate out certain factions. And so then they can't communicate, they can't go back and report back what's happening, but also they can't get directions from their commander. So if I want to do that, if I want to cut off your line of communication, I'm going to have to do that by attacking your faith. And you've probably heard me say this before. Faith, the only way you can relate to God is through faith. The kind of faith you have, the amount of faith you have. If you think that he's just, using an old band's term, he's just a jukebox, put a coin in and you get a song out. That's the kind of faith you have in God. Well, that's one kind of faith. If there's a kind that you just take for granted that everything good always happens to you, nothing bad does, And when something bad happens to you, what happens? Well, you lose faith in God, because that's the only kind of faith you have. The only way you can relate to God is through faith. So, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Faith. What is faith? Well, look, if you would, Hebrews chapter 11. It's kind of neat. This was actually the verse that I had underneath my picture in the senior yearbook when I graduated from high school. Largely because that morning I realized I had to have something there, and I couldn't come up with anything really good from any rock songs or anything else like that. Now, faith is being sure of what we hope for, and certain of what we do not see. That's the NIV. I like the King James. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What is faith? Faith is the substance, the essence, the center of things you look toward. Now, hope, the word I used that word earlier. The biblical idea of hope is not, oh, I hope Bobby calls me. That's not the kind of hope we're talking about. I thought I picked the name Bobby because I figured it was, androgynous enough to be a guy or a girl. So hope in the Bible is what you know is going to happen, and you're looking toward it, and you're just waiting for it. That's what you're hoping for. So faith is the substance, it's the essence. It is what buoys, what sustains that belief in the thing and the hope that you're looking for, that you're waiting on. That's what faith is. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. More confessions from me here. I love a sermon I once heard by Billy Graham when he was talking about you can't see God, but I can't see the wind. Does that mean the wind doesn't exist? I can see the effects of the wind, but I can't see the wind. Well, I thought that was just really great wisdom on Billy Graham's part, which it was. So far, that's that. So, that's my confession. I for years thought that was all Billy Graham original stuff. But faith is what you can't see, but you still believe. So how in the world does that tie into communication with God? How in the world does faith, having faith, what does that mean? How can that actually be communication with God? Verse 2, by faith we understand, this is what the ancients were meant for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command. By the way, another confession, all week long, as I've been reading this to myself, I have been reading it in Dr. Robert Smith's voice. And it is so much stronger than my voice. I'll let you guys do it to yourself. This is versus me doing it right now. But I'm really fighting it right now, reading it, not going, by faith. Yes. We understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. Okay, by faith we understand. We weren't there at the beginning. We weren't there as the universe was formed. By faith, we believe that God spoke it all into existence. Now, why is that so important? Why is that so important? That by faith, we understand that. You can answer to it. Oh, that's good. Yeah. It's part of the foundation of our belief system. Why is it so important, though? I teach classes on risk. And one of the questions I ask people oftentimes is I'm trying to get them to understand when they accept risks. I say, and not to scare you guys, but how many of you guys came in a motor vehicle of some sort tonight? Okay. What was the worst thing that could happen to you on the way here? You got it, correct? Yes. Horrible fiery car crash, right? Yeah. Yes. Okay. What was the most likely thing in your mind that would happen? You get here, yeah. So which one did you make your decision? Well, you made the decision based upon what you thought was the most likely, with in the back of your mind an understanding of the worst case. So that's accepting a risk of some sort. So that's what I teach folks. That is not the same thing as faith. When you take something for granted, when you accept a risk like that, that is not the same thing as faith. So what is faith? By faith, we understand things that we weren't there for. By faith, Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as a righteous man when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith, he still speaks, even though he is dead. By faith, Abel offered a greater sacrifice, a better sacrifice. How do you do that? Well, it's interesting how they're all intertwined. If you love me, God says, then do what?
Keep my commandments.
You will keep my commandments. You will obey me. By faith, Abel trusted that God was going to be faithful to what he said. So he sacrificed the best of what he had. He brought it to God and gave it to God, trusting that God was going to keep his word. See, faith is not just figuring you're going to make it here safely. Faith is faith in something, faith in someone. So by doing that, Abel communicated with God his faith. And through that, God was able to build up his faith. Now, this creates sort of a sticky kind of situation here. Because if you have faith, he's sacrificing to God, he's giving the best he has. Why do you think he was doing that? Our nature, what does our nature tell us? Why would Abel have done that? Yeah.
It wasn't really a risk for him too, he didn't have to play for God.
Okay. But why do you think, in our nature, why if I say, okay, I'm going to give on Sunday mornings.
So I get something.
So I get something. What did Abel get?
Yeah.
Killed. He doesn't be He was murdered. So we sit there and go, wait a minute, that didn't work out well. He had faith in God, that God was going to take care of him. And so therefore he gave, and that's not what it was. He didn't give because of what he wanted to get. He gave because he was told to. God is most likely not going to give you what you want. That's not that thing. The best place you could be is where God wants you to be. And what's really kind of scary is we tend to grow more as Christians in adversity than we do in comfort. But God is not concerned about your comfort. He's concerned about your character. Faith. Look on. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life so he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. But before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. So Enoch is one of the two guys we know in the Bible that did not die. Enoch was, it says, Enoch was, and then he was not. By faith. Because it is impossible to do what without faith? please God. Now, if God truly is your Lord, your Savior, Abba, Father, Shepherd, the Almighty, King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the head of hosts, right? If He really is all that, isn't it much more important to make Him happy than really just to make you happy? By faith, you're able to please God. Is it possible to please God without faith? Again, how do you communicate with God? The only way is through faith. So if I want to communicate my intentions to God, my love for Him, my whatever it is, I do it with faith. I go back, I'm your enemy. I've already muddled up love. So most folks in society have the wrong image of what love is. They don't have verses, love is patient, love is kind. So most folks are messed up there. I mess up hope because I draw all kinds of icons in your life that said, had hope in me. And now I need to mess up faith. Because what if I can make you lose the concept of love and hope and faith?
You gotta separate it. You're easier market.
Yeah, you are the little tiny gazelle with a limp that is outside the herd, that all the predators are just waiting to pounce on them. But the thing is, it's because you have a skewed view of reality. By faith. By faith, you recognize you can please Him. By faith, you recognize that God loves you and has a great plan for you, even if you don't see it, and even if it's not what you want. You guys have heard the song, Dream Small. You heard this on K-Love? I hear it all the time, it's kind of catchy. Yeah, right? And then, but at the same time, I sat and listened to the words one time. Just once. And it was a case of, the little things you're doing today are not, I am saving nations. No, you're touching one life. You're doing something for one person. And he says that a tiny rock can make a giant fall. God is using you and wants to use you somewhere amazing, where you're going to feel fulfilled, where you are going to be an impact, where you are part of His overall plan for this world and for the betterment of it and for His service and His glory. But if you're isolated out and you never grow your faith, you might not ever really see it, because you might not listen to that little inspiration to go and do something here, or you might choose something good or something great. By faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness that comes by faith. You know what's so interesting always to me about Noah? He made noises like that. No, Noah, do you realize that prior to the flood, it is most likely it had never rained? You had the firmament of heaven, which was a mist that shrouded the earth. And archaeological evidence shows that at some point, the atmosphere changed. So it likely had not rained, ever. And so I'm God. I come to you and say, Harry, I'm going to bring a rain upon the earth. And you go, cool, rain, all right.
What's that?
And then you turn to your friends and go, okay? By faith, Noah then spent however long he did building an ark, 40 years, 120 years, I can't remember what it was, building an ark for something nobody had ever experienced. And his friends, of course, were very supportive of this. His neighbors. You know, crazy old Noah. Substitute Noah for Maurice then. By faith, he did something that had never been done before, and by that saved not only himself, not only his family, but I've mentioned this before, it's so interesting that when you look at all the languages on the earth, they are categorized by linguistic experts according to Noah's sons. Everything goes back to that. What if Noah had not had faith? Pastor later on says, and what if I talk about Gideon and Jephthah and Samson? Well, I'm going to talk about Gideon. Because Gideon is one of the best images of faith I have, and how to grow your faith. First off, how do you get faith? Oh yeah. And faith comes by hearing. I think it's Romans 10:17. Hearing by the word of God. Faith comes by hearing. Go back to something I've been saying a lot lately. Revelation. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. The word of your testimony is pretty much simply who you were before you met God, how you met God, and who you've been since, and what he's done for you since. That's your testimony. It's not, the Lord God met upon a mountain. No, it's not. You're not preaching. It's your testimony. You share your testimony with people. And you know what happens with them? They catch that faith. They hear it. Now, it might not be as soon as you say it, they go, you are the enlightenment I have waited for. No. I used to say that a person had to hear the gospel an average of 7 times before they would grab hold of it. I think it's more than that probably now, because people are more skeptical, more distraction. But I don't have evidence. Faith comes by hearing. Hearing the word of God. Faith comes by hearing your testimony. It's one place. But then Gideon, in his case, the Lord came to Gideon, met him when he was in a bit of mud, in a wine press, threshing wheat. And you threshed wheat in windy locations because you would crush it all down, and you had the wheat and you had the chaff. And the difference is you have the wheat is got meat, it's got stuff in the top of it. The chaff looks identical. You can't tell the difference looking at it, but it's empty. Empty-headed. Okay? And so you crush it all down, and then you throw it up in the air, and the lighter, empty stuff blows away. But the heavier stuff falls at the master's feet, because the master would be the one who was typically doing the threshing. He'd have his servants go out and glean the fields, but he would do the threshing himself. And so this is what Gideon's doing. He's up on top of a mountain doing this, where it's nice and windy, but he's in a wine press. Now, in the area where Gideon lived, wine was grown on vines. This happens in most areas. But the grapevines there happen to grow on the sides of the mountains. So, if you're one of these guys and you are gathering the grapes or crushing in the wine press, when you're done, do you want to carry it to the top of the mountain or to the bottom? So that's where the wine press is. So Gideon is in a place trying to accomplish something that really can't be well accomplished there. It has to be accomplished somewhere else. And that's when God comes to him. And he's here, by the way, because he's hiding from the Amalekites, the Midianites. And he's hiding. And so God comes to him and says, hey, almighty warrior, which shows God has a sense of humor. And he said, I want you to do something for me. So at night, Gideon goes out and tears down the Asherah poles to the goddess Asherah and the altar to Baal. You know why he did it at night? Yeah, I used to love thinking it was like First Special Forces Office. You know, at night they had night vision goggles on, you know. Okay, no, it's because he was scared. He didn't want anybody to see him. And the next morning, he's just kind of hoping, yeah, I did this for God. I did a good job, guys. Guys that were with him, I thought this was all right. Good job. So the next morning they go, who did this? Who tore down the Asher pole, the altar veil? And somebody said,
I saw Gideon and some friends out there last night. They had some spray paint.
and so at that point, everybody goes, Gideon, kill Gideon! Now, if I was God, I would think that's not the way to grow faith. You want everybody to go, thanks, Gideon, that was really great, you know, let's throw a parade for Gideon. You know, and so he's going, gosh, I would do more things for God. But instead, God grew his faith by having everybody want to kill him. Now, how does that grow your faith? Well, what happened was his dad was the leader of this community. And his dad had not been living like he should. But when they wanted to kill Gideon for doing what was proper and right in accordance with the teachings of their God, he stood up. And a revival happened throughout the entire community, and that entire community turned back again. So then, you know what Gideon did? He stepped out further and did something else. And then he stepped out even further and did something else. He attacked millions of soldiers with 300 guys. And when he did so, they had torches inside vases, or water jars, and they had horns. How many arms do you have? How many things can you carry in those two at one time? Pretty much two. I tried many more, I dropped things. Okay? So what did they not have in their hands as they were going into battle? Right. God grew Gideon's faith because not only by hearing, but also by experiencing God does it grow your faith. Noah trusted God. By faith, Abraham, called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went even though he did not know where he was going. Do you know the instruction Noah got? Or Abraham got? Go that way. Abraham, walk that direction. Where am I going, God? That direction. How long should I walk? That direction. What's going to be there when I get there? That direction. Okay. See, when you operate on faith, you trust the one who sent you. He knew he could trust God. He obeyed without understanding. He obeyed without having all the answers. Now, I look at that in my own life. How often do I step out in faith? How often, versus going, well, that's not the formula I know for how things are supposed to work. It's so interesting. I teach financial peace, Dave Ramsey's class. And one of the things he talks about is, you know what all rich people, for the most part, have in common? This one. They give. Now that's counterintuitive, that you obey and you give in order to have. But you know who tells us to give? God. He's the one who set up the rules. He's the one who set up how everything works. So you don't have to understand, you just have to obey. Finally, looking down here in verse 13, all these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance. Do you know what the things that were promised were? And it goes on down to verses 39 and 40. These were all meant for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised. God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. They never saw the object of their faith, only from a distance. You know what the object of their faith was? Jesus the Messiah. They didn't know it. But to be able to live with the Holy Spirit, indwelling, guiding. God, over time, has iteratively, a little bit at a time, revealed himself more and more and more to his people. Right? He lived among them in the camps in Israel, and then now he lives inside us. And now, in the future, we're going to go and we're going to live along with him for all eternity. And also, God has been taking us from where we were in Genesis, in the Garden of Eden. All of history is all about getting us back to that point, where we can commune with God that same way. Do you know how you learn to commune with God? What is commune the root of? What word? Communicate. He's getting us at the end of Revelation back to where we were at the beginning of Genesis, where we live alongside him, happy and fruitful, and really live as he intended all of us to be. So, how do you feel when you have an enemy that's out to destroy you? Paranoid. Does it make you feel like, oh, they don't mean anything by it? Does it make you think, I'll take you down, keep your little sister with you? You have an enemy because your God has it. And he is wanting to attack you. He's wanting to attack your sense of love and how you feel loved. He's wanting to attack your sense of hope, because if I can remove your hope, why go on? And he's going to attack your faith, which is your communication line, which gives you an accurate picture of the risk and isolates you out if you don't have it. It's okay. You know what we need to do? Ensure we are well-rounded, fruitful Christians who are serving God and honoring him. It is our job to increase our faith. I mentioned two ways to do it. Faith comes from hearing. Faith comes by experience. There's a third way. Prayer. We way underestimate prayer. By faith, by prayer. Kate Gray may not be on the pastor church committee very much longer. They ignored my suggestion. Just telling Bruce, I thought Priscilla Shire was a great pastor.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, she's amazing. Would that not have been awesome? Did you even go to listen to her? I'm betting no. Oh, you probably listened to her.
I say, oh.
Yeah, I know you did. Okay? I can't encourage you enough. Step out on faith. Have faith in God. Now, that is different from the idiots I see who go, they go out there, stand in front of a bunch of moving semi, or they dive in front of a moving semi and lay down and roll out away between the tires. Oh man, that was awesome! Did you do what I did? Woo! Okay, that's being stupid. 2 words, stupid. Faith is, God has said, if you do this, I will do this. Trust me, you don't know why, but I want you to do this. And you do it. My prayer for this week is that God will reveal to you one area, one place, where he wants you to trust him. And he wants you to have more faith in him. And that you will hear that and you will obey. Let's pray. God, I've already told him I'm going to pray, so I better do it. Thank you so much for your word. Thank you for how you have set it up so we can know you. The privilege we have of not only knowing you, but serving you, and being a part of the plan you have for all eternity. Lord, gosh, who are we? What is our value except for that which you give us? And I pray that we would recognize just how precious we are in your sight. That we would take the opportunities you give us to grow our faith in you, so we may see, we may just taste and see that you are good. That you want to do good things for us, that you want to give us good things, that you want us to be men and women of character and integrity, and fruitful and happy, joyous. Lord, I just praise you for all that you are. Thank you for your word, and thank you to these folks. And as I said, I pray that this week, each one of us, you will bring to our hearts and our minds one area in which we need to increase our faith in you. You may be doing it right now in some people's minds. Lord, maybe not push that away, but may we be obedient and trust you. Thank you for all this. Thank you for your son, Jesus, and for all that you do. And I pray that as a body, we would go forward to honor you and to serve you well.